how many of you have the budget review in front of you? Do you?
No.
See, how can you talk about the budget without the budget review? And PwC does us a disservice, you see. They give you their material, they must give you our material. So page 4 of chapter 1.
PwC will be serving lunch at...
Because I'm sure this has been part of the narrative before I got here, is about what is this animal called the National Development Plan? Are we going to implement it? Are we paralyzed by the criticism that we have? And, well, firstly, the key message is we've got to stop debating, we've got to start doing. Secondly, we've got to also recognize that as a country, not just as government, we have implementation challenges and capability challenges. So if we don't get the right synergies right between the two, private sector and government, and indeed labor as well, we're not going to be able to do the things that we want to do. Number 3, page 4, Ruel, you can see it, right? On the left-hand side of the page, it says NDP critical actions, and on the right-hand side of the page says medium-term initiatives. And in the rest of the book, particularly chapter 6 and so on, you have money allocated to each of these areas. Let's get on and implement it, and that's how you'll get growth. But what our people are waiting for is influential people that are sitting on this side of the room and on that side of the room, getting on with action within the framework of a national development plan where the constraints facing the South African economy are very well known. The things that we need to do to move the economy differently are also very well known. But our job, I think, is, as I said earlier on, get these things done. So let's look at 1 or 2 examples. Jobs. Boost private investment in labor-intensive areas, competitiveness in exports, with adjustments to lower the risk of hiring young workers. That's on the NDP critical actions. What does this budget fund? The employment tax incentive, which lowers the cost of hiring young workers, can be expanded to special economic zones in specific sectors. Industrial support programs and manufacturing incentives will boost competitiveness and promote inclusive growth. The expanded public works program will aim to create 6 million jobs.
And the money
is there. Legislation which implements the employment tax incentive is passed. 56,000 people are going to be beneficiaries in the first month of this incentive being in place. The challenge is whether this audience wants to offer that incentive to young people in South Africa or not. It's got nothing to do with cabinet differences or political differences or ideological differences. So I think we must start understanding what does it mean to collectively adopt a mindset which says get on with things and stop pointing fingers and blaming and so on, because human beings will always have something to say about somebody else. That's their character, you see. Now we've got to burst out of that character and get these things going.